Hey, Saul Overman. We're going to do something a little different today. We're going to cut up a chicken. I'm going to show you how to section a chicken for frying or grilling or whatever you want to do. Before we get started, kind of may be a question that's asked of why you'd want to do this when the grocer would do it for you, and the reason is that you get a much fresher and much less contaminated end product when you do it yourself. This knife is clean now. It's only going to cut up this one chicken. Maybe sometimes I might do two, and maybe wash the knife between. Grocery store may do 200 chickens before they clean the blade that's cutting the chickens. Any one of those chickens in the line is heavily contaminated. It's going to spread that contamination through the open ends of the chicken. For every chicken it touches after that, everything the blade touches is going to be contaminated. So a lot of people say they don't know how to do this, or it's hard or messy. It's really not, and there's much less chance of you getting sick from a chicken that you do cut up yourself, and you end up ultimately getting a fresher product. So without further ado, let's cut this bird up. One thing I've done to this is just rinse it really good, pat it dry. First thing I'm doing is going right there, just separated, cut through the thigh and separated the joint, be the hip joint, and just cut right through it. No reason to cut the bone. Same thing we're going to try to do here. We're going to try to aim for the joint with the blade. If you miss it, just move a little bit, you'll find it. There you go. I like to use a nice heavy knife like this. It's good and sharp. You can really use anything though. Same thing here. I'm going to cut through that skin, a little bit of meat, pop the hip joint apart, just dislocate that hip and just cut right through the center of it. Same thing here. If you find the sweet spot on these, over here, on these leg quarters, kind of look for the joint. You can feel the little elbow part right there. You kind of want to find that blade and it'll just glide right through. Cut that right off. Okay, the wings, kind of the same thing. I'm going to cut kind of down into the breast. You'll go right through the joint. It'll come right off. Good time to go ahead and take off that little winglet portion there. You're just pushing a little bit. It'll go right through. I leave those whole. Same thing here. We're going to pull up, find the joint. Just cut through like that. That's that. Now this part gets a little bit more difficult, not terribly though. We're going to separate the back from the breast. You can see it there. Just going to kind of feel where they join. Cut through the skin here. Cut through the ribs a little bit. You'll find a little spot here where you'll have to push. You go right through there. Not much. You can just pop that apart, and then there's just a couple little tags of skin to cut there. Cut that off. And there's your backbone piece. I like to go ahead and take what they used to call the poke nose, the little chicken butt there. It's pretty fatty. I don't really cook that. Get rid of that. Get rid of these little tag end pieces of fat. Don't need those. This takes a little bit of pressure. You need a big knife for this, or cleaver works good. We're going to split that back right in the center. Just a little bit of pressure. That's why you want to keep your knife nice and sharp so you don't have to push too hard. Okay, the breast, there's a few ways to do this. It's a pretty big breast in this chicken. One thing I'm going to do is go ahead and quarter it. So first I'm going to go down the center, long ways on it, a little bit of push, and go through what would be the sternum on a human, but that bone in the chicken there. Now I've got two equal halves, cut lengthwise, just go through and a little bit of push, and we'll glide right through that breastbone. We'll pop there. There you go. Boom. There you go. Last one. I like cooking the chicken next, so save that. The back pieces are really good, and a lot of times when you get a cut up chicken, butcher chicken, they won't include these. I don't know what they do with them, but they don't include them in the little chicken packs that are cut up. It's an excellent piece of meat. I like the backs as good as any other part, so I keep those. And that's it. So you think what I had, maybe 2.5, 3 minutes in that total. Now I've got a nice fresh chicken. I'll go ahead and put this on in some salty cold water, put it back in the refrigerator for a while and let it brine a little bit. Another thing I did before I started was back here, go ahead and get me a pan of good soapy hot water so I can clean up real easy. When the phone rings or whatever, if I'm in the middle of it, I can get cleaned up quick and don't have to contaminate anything else. And that's it. That's how you cut up a whole chicken ready for a fryer. Thanks for watching. This is Saul. Have a nice day.